Hello, today we are talking about Pokemon the first movie in celebration of the release of Pokemon Go. Um, Now, I've been really kind of gotten carried away by this game. Like, have you tried it all yet?
Not really yet.
Okay. Well, anyways, this movie came out in the late 90s when Pokemon was really at its hype, and it really does still have a huge fan base nowadays.
Yeah, it's carried on to much younger generations. It's amazing to see.
Yeah, it actually going back to look at this movie, it really reminded me of how old I am when I look at my copy of this movie and it's on VHS. Now, some of you younger people, you may not even know this, but back in the day, movies used to come in plastic boxes like this.
They weren't usually yellow though.
No, this is just Pikachu yellow.
I'm much younger. I have it on DVD.
But anyways, yeah, we're not really going to cover... There was a short movie ahead of this, Pikachu's Vacation. We're going to skip this for the sake of time. Needless to say, it was alright.
Better than most short things before.
Yeah. Do you want to give a synopsis, or should I?
Yeah, you might as well do it.
Okay, well, this is a movie where the leader of Team Rocket, Giovanni, he wants the most powerful Pokemon in the world. And when he tries to clone Mew, it's a success. However, the clone doesn't like that he's being used how he is and turns on Giovanni, and ultimately he's got a real issue with humans in general. He wants to basically wipe them off the face of the earth and only have a select few top Pokemon clones that he creates to be with him. He brings some top trainers into a trap to capture their Pokemon away from them in order to start this plan, but thanks to Ash's intervention and release of these Pokemon, they're able to fight back with the help of Mew. And due to Ash's sacrifice, Mew finally sees the error of his ways.
Mewtwo.
Sorry, Mewtwo. Jeez. So yeah, now right off the bat, there was this fight scene.
The first fight scene.
Yeah.
A man just all of a sudden comes out of nowhere. Hey Ash, I want to fight you.
Yeah, I didn't know Ash was that popular, but
Neither did I. He knew where he was from and everything.
Yeah, he must have... I know Ash had stalkers. But this fight really started the movie off on a good tone for me because it was...
It was quite fast-paced.
Yeah.
And, you know...
you'd watch the show, and whenever they would do their moves, it would kind of do a cutaway to, a colored background or whatever. This, you actually saw them, flipping around, actually fighting each other. Very well animated, and they had the Pokemon theme song in it. But it was
an updated
a cover.
version.
Yeah. Well...
For that time.
Yeah. I thought it was a good cover.
Yeah, it was, actually.
Now, this was, Actually, I'm sorry, I kind of skipped ahead a bit because that wasn't the first thing. The first thing was Mewtwo's cloning.
Yeah.
Now, we both watched two different versions.
I watched the Western.
Yeah, the 4Kids version.
Yeah, and Gary saw a longer cut.
Yeah, the Japanese cut. The Japanese cut, it's really just one scene, which is 5-10 minutes long, but I really did feel it added a lot to the movie in terms of Mewtwo's character. It's where the professor who cloned Mewtwo, it shows that his real motivation to looking into that field of study was to bring back his deceased daughter. Now, Mewtwo is able to connect with this daughter, Amber, in the cloning tubes, and she was the first one to introduce him to what life is like. Oh, that's the sun, this is wind, and all this. And it's a very childlike view on life, and she's like, life is wonderful. But it's also the first thing Mewtwo experiences when he gains consciousness is losing this person and Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Charmander. Now, they repress his memories through injecting some drug or whatever, but you could tell throughout the movie he never truly forgets. There's always hints throughout the movie that he has remembered, and it's his... I really felt that it was this childlike view on world, life is wonderful, and then being thrown into the more adult world where he's being used and betrayed. It's kind of like what a teenager goes through which causes, like, teens can sometimes be very angry or depressed because the veil has been lifted on what life can be really like.
See, I saw his memories were what Mew had being out in the wild. So it wasn't maybe as powerful as that was.
Yeah. But it was still taking away his freedom of memory of freedom. Yeah. But still, that's still a strong message for a kid's movie.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of strong messages in this. Like,
yeah.
I don't know, like, he's trying to figure out his purpose in life.
And when all anyone tells him is, like, you were made to be used by us.
Yeah.
Like,
you're a slave, basically.
You can get a bit angry. Now, it's kind of funny because it's like, you're a slave. He's like, I'm no one's slave. And then what does he do? He turns around and he makes clones and he enslaves them.
Which, yeah, but things like that happen in real life. You repeat what's happened to you sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Like, but I just kind of wonder if Mewtwo ever kind of thought after the events of this movie, wow, I was a real hypocrite.
Well, he's in another movie, so maybe.
Oh, God. But, yeah, no, so, anyways, like, Ash gets invited to New Island to meet the world's greatest trainer. And, like, apparently he's not the only one. Lots of trainers got this invite. There are all these people trying to get to New Island. And, unfortunately, there's a big storm.
Which Mewtwo created, so that only the best trainers could get there.
Yeah, and, like, there's an official there, and she's like, this is the return of the Winds of Water. Only the tears of Pokemon, like, can save us. I probably butchered that, but no, they...
It foreshadows what happens later.
Yeah. It also this scene was also useful for pointing out that Nurse Joy was missing. Now, a lot of trainers are like, whatever, I don't care if there's a storm, I've got Gyarados, I've got Pidgeot, and they all find a way to get to this island. And it led to one of the funniest lines in the film, for me anyways, which like, Officer Jenny's like, get back here, you're under arrest. And the other one's like Pokemon trainers, some Pokemon trainers have no fear. They follow their hearts, and that's what will make them Pokemon masters. Honestly, and this is kind of funny thinking about Pokemon Go now, it's just like, kind of horrible message to say, like, yes, dangerously risk your life by going out into storms in order to become a Pokemon master. That's the only way you become great.
I wouldn't have picked that as one of the best lines. There's a lot of puns in this movie.
Oh, God. There's so many... I'm kind of like... Do you remember any choice
There was one where Meowth is going to fight another Meowth, and it's like, oh, that was going to be Clawful.
Oh, God. Yeah. Team Rocket's always awesome. They didn't get to see their motto. I was disappointed by that.
Yeah, but they do, they reference what happens in the old Pokemon series where you'd see a shadow of Pokemon. It's like, who's that Pokemon?
Yeah,
and say it a few times.
I think they may have gotten some of those wrong intentionally, just so the kids could be like, that's not Alakazam, that's Scyther.
Yeah.
But that I can understand. But when trainers get the name of their own Pokemons wrong, that I'm like, oh, this is Pidgeotto here, and it's clearly a Pidgeot. And it's like, come on, can you not get like a 5-year-old to step in the studio and just like, what's the name of that Pokemon? Pidgeot? Okay, good. Pidgeot. One thing that sorry, I'm kind of backtracking, but I did like that Mewtwo's Escape appeared in an episode of the series. Yeah,
it's Giovanni was a gym leader and he fights Gary, and obviously Gary loses because he's fighting against Mewtwo.
Yeah.
And he escapes, and you see that in an old episode.
That was very good, and it was very good for setting up when these events happen. Not that really matters, like, we'll get to that. Let's see. Sorry, I've got a lot of notes here.
Yeah.
Blah, blah, blah. Whatever. So, anyways, like, Mewtwo shows up, and it turns out that his assistant, Nurse Joy, and he's like, I'm the most powerful Pokemon trainer ever, and then basically he exposits his whole evil plot about taking over the world, destroying the world.
What happens a lot in the movie.
Yeah. he decides to challenge them to a Pokemon battle. And I found this really interesting because, like I said, in the test tube, he had seen a Squirtle, a Bulbasaur, and a Charmander. And these clones had these markings on them.
They're the only ones that do.
Yeah. So when he made Charizard, Blastoise, and Venusaur, they had the markings on them as well. And I think this is his repressed memories coming through, that he made them with these imperfections. Well, these cosmetic differences. But that fight scene was awesome. Like, I really like the Charizard's like going at it midair. That was really, really fun to watch.
And it was nice the fact he said, "Oh, you trained your Charizard awfully." Like,
yeah, I think this is before Charizard actually started listening to him. How did Mewtwo make those Pokeballs? He just puts his arms out and makes matter out of nothing.
He is a magician. I don't understand some of his powers.
I remember playing the Game Boy game. There was no summon Pokeball ability in his move
And
list.
those Pokeballs could capture other Pokeballs, which I don't understand, and yet it still didn't get, say, Brock's other Pokemon, which he has.
Yeah, Onix was nowhere to be seen, and that's very
all
noticeable.
All you saw was Vulpix.
Yeah. Like, no Geodude, no Zubat.
Yeah.
Like, I found it funny that they were trying to escape, and, like, Brock is like, don't put them in the Pokeballs, they can just capture them. Carry your Pokemon away. It's easier to carry them when they're in their Pokeball. And, you know, you could put those Pokeballs into a bag, and then it hits off the bag, but what's he gonna do? Capture the bag?
Maybe.
Actually, it's like, damn, I had like 50 euros in there. Or whatever currency they use in Pokemon.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, so all these Pokemon get captured, they start being cloned, and Ash goes after Pikachu's in one of these balls, and like he's in the machine fighting off all these arms that are trying to take it away.
And somehow that breaks the entire machine.
It blows up.
Yeah.
Like, and Pokeballs are... That seems like a serious design flaw.
It still cloned Pikachu, even though it never really got it.
Hey, it cloned Meowth out of 3 hairs.
It still got something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like, it was connected up for a second to the Pokeball before Ash managed to rip it free.
It's a weird machine.
It looked awesome.
Yeah.
The design of the island, the structure there, like, that had a really nice design to it. It was very alien. So... Yeah, Mewtwo basically says that he's going to let them go until Ash shows up, and like, he tries to punch Mewtwo, which, you know, sensible. Not like, oh, my Pokemon, attack at once. No, I'm going to punch you, Mewtwo.
He's just that pissed.
Yeah, that never really works out for Ash.
No,
he always tries shit like that.
He's a bit stupid.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
Mew shows up. And
I love Mew. It's so innocent, really.
Mew's characterization is great in this.
Yeah.
Like, he's so powerful that he just doesn't give a shit, and he's just kind of like, whatever, I'll do what I want. And
I'm gonna make bubbles.
Yeah, and he's just like, so amused by his own bubbles. It's such a great characterization of such a powerful being.
That's what Pokemon used to be great for, though.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
They all had their own personalities.
Now legendaries are kind of just about being intense.
Yeah, they're all a bit forgettable now.
Yeah, but people still remember Mew. Mew's still a big deal to this day. Now, this is the part which a lot of people I find rip this movie to shreds on. This big fight at the end. And that song is god-awful.
Oh yeah, brother, I love you.
Oh. Honestly, I didn't have that much of a problem with this fight.
No, I liked it. Like, you could just see that they were fighting until they had no energy left.
Yeah, I think they even said, like, this is going to be fight to the end. And
yeah.
Like, honestly, the problem a lot of people have with this is that Pokemon aren't meant to fight. And it's like, well, that's a very kind of convoluted message. The game's all about fighting Pokemon. To me, this is the difference between, like, boxing and a street fight. There's, in boxing, you know, you get into the ring, there are regulations, there are, like, you know, jab, jab, uppercut, body shot, you know.
You're training.
Yeah.
Like, this is a very dirty fight.
This is a street fight.
Yeah.
This is where he smacks someone's head against the wall and curb stomp them, and, like, it's vicious. And I think that's what they were trying to say. Like, I can see how people will be like, Pokemon aren't meant to fight. It's like, yes, they are. But, yeah, no, I can see what they mean by not like this.
Yeah. But it's a powerful scene. Even, like, at the end of the scene where Ash gets turned to stone because he goes in between Mew and Mewtwo's 2 attacks.
Yeah, I didn't know they had a attack that turned things to stone.
Either did I, but, like... Like, that still gets to me because the Pokemon end up all crying and then they revive Ash. And, like, I know many men about my age who still cry at that scene.
It wasn't, like, honestly, I didn't... The Pokemon crying I kind of laughed at, but Pikachu I found to be very heartbreaking because he was still trying so hard. He was trying so hard. He just kept trying to... Like, the other Pokemon started crying, I'm like, whatever. But seeing Pikachu, that was really kind of like, poor Pikachu. I felt bad for him. Now, you know... Thundershock on rock, like electric attacks don't do anything on rock. Come on, Pikachu. But still, he tried. So yeah, no, the wind to water whole prophecy thing. The Pokemon tears restore life, and that means that Ash is no longer made of rock. And
that's where Mewtwo realizes he's wrong, and then he wipes everyone's memories.
Which I did not like. I didn't like that. It's kind of like,
that's a quick way to end it.
I'm like, I don't want to remember my fuck up. I'm just gonna this never happened.
You learned nothing.
Like, all the lessons you learned here today, gone. But no, they all end up back at the port near the stars. And a lot of the trainers are still lined up to try and get onto this ferry to New Island. And I'm sure that if they did get onto the boat, they'd be like, wait, why the hell are we trying to get to New Island anyways?
It's just a bunch of grass.
Yeah.
And Team Rocket.
Yeah. Where the hell do like that building? I can imagine Mewtwo just destroyed the building or whatever, but where does he have powers to make grass grow?
Teleportation? I don't know.
Well, he teleports a bunch of grass from one place to another and leaves Team
Only
Rocket on top
thing
of
I can think of. But yeah, I think if you're a Pokemon fan, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
If you're not, I don't think you will, because you won't fully understand.
No, they don't really set up the world well at all in this. It was great fun to go back to it.
Yeah.
I really feel like yourself, that it's very biased opinion because we're both like hardcore fans from back in the day.
We grew up with it.
But no, like, it was great to go back and revisit it, and it does have its issues. It does, but it's still great fun. I would recommend it. Yeah,
I would too. I think all the younger fans should see this. See what it used to be.
No, I couldn't suggest if you could skip Pikachu's vacation. You don't really need to see that, but the main thing is pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's all I've got to say on this.
See you next week.
Yeah. See you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Thanks for watching.